Pantry, and tonight I get to can for you. But this is gonna be a test canning, if you will. Okay, so I'm gonna be canning the recipe that I have for Zuppa Tuscana, and I've got a couple videos on how I make it. I'm gonna go ahead and try to leave that in an iCard above or down below in the About section. All I'm doing today is canning. Last night I made the Zuppa Tuscana with Italian sausage, kale, potatoes out of my garden, kale out of my garden, onions and garlic and chicken broth, and oh my gosh, unbelievable. Then we had a bowl with, I added some heavy cream to the broth, and it's still really brothy, but I want to can it. So I didn't add cream to anything else. I'm gonna go ahead and can up the base of it, and when I open a jar, I'll add my cream or milk, whatever you prefer. Anyway, so we're gonna do a test and see how well this comes out. I've got all my canning supplies. My Zuppa is back there hot on the stove, and part of the testing is it's fully cooked. I wanna see what the texture ends up like after the canning process, because it's a long process. It'll be 75 minutes for the pints I'm gonna do. But if this turns out, what a terrific lunch. I can take a little container of some cream, open up a jar and have, I can even share it because there's 2 cups in a pint, but I usually only have about a cup of soup. And so I've got 2 lunches in 1 jar, perfect. Or big eater, one lunch. So we're gonna get to canning. I've got my All-American 10.5. So it's the smaller canner. I'm not going to do a big batch of this because if it doesn't turn out, I don't want 12 quarts of it or even 7 quarts of it on my shelf. So come along with me and let's see how this does. So I'm going to bring you in close right now. If you like these kind of videos, go ahead and leave me a thumbs up and let me know, and leave a comment in the comment section if you've ever canned this or you've ever tasted it after it's been canned. All right, guys. Let's get to canning. Yay! I love canning. I've got everything ready. All I have to do is put some hot water in here and we're on a roll. Okay, so I've got my hot jars and I'm gonna go ahead and start loading the jars with my soup. I need my ladle, get my canning ladle here. I have hot water over my lids. Even though they say you don't have to do that anymore, I've found that I get a better seal. And this is a very brothy type soup. So I want plenty of broth in here. I'm hoping to get, well, I'm gonna fill the canner. So you've got your, look how beautiful that is. You've got your potatoes and your sausage and kale. And I let this set in the refrigerator overnight so I could actually skim off the fat. I didn't want a bunch of fat. It's gonna have some because it's sausage. And there's bacon in here, sorry. But that being said, I didn't want a huge amount of fat on top, so I skimmed the fat. Okay, you want 1 inch of headspace because we are pressure canning, and I want to make sure I have 1 inch of headspace. This one needs a little bit of something. And there's garlic and onions. Now I use Thrive's onions and some freeze-dried garlic that I get at Costco. And I used Thrive's, actually it's a vegetarian chicken bouillon. It's lower in sodium. I really, really like it. And so I was like, I'm gonna use it. So if you guys wanna see me make this recipe again, if this is a canning success, I'll be making a big batch and getting it on the shelf. So we're gonna test this out and ooh, yum. Okay, so wipe the rims of your jars. I'm not gonna debubble because it's so much liquid. And grab a lid. And these are the older lids that I have. So we should get a really good seal out of that. Get the rims on. These are gonna go in the pressure canner, and once I get it up to speed, it's gonna vent for 10 minutes. Then we're going to end up putting the weight on and let that gauge come up to 15 pounds pressure for my altitude, and we're gonna have soup, and it'll can for 75 minutes because there's meat in there. All right, guys, we'll be right back. Okay, so I have 6 1-pint jars in there. I've got a couple smallmouth, a couple wide mouth, a squatty, and I'm excited. So this, I've got it all locked down. You lock those thumb screws down opposites, and then you come back and tighten everybody down. So you don't tighten them all the way until you get everybody and the lid gap is even. This little canner, if you're not careful, it will lock up on you, but I know how to get it open, so it's no big deal. Let's see. I checked the petcock where you make sure that there's going to be able to have steam vent out of that. My gauge is good. Once the steam starts coming out of there, it's 10 minutes. Then you put the weight on, and for my area, it's 15 pounds. And these are going to can for 75 minutes. Once this gauge, it starts rocking, and this gauge says 250 degrees. Woohoo! Anyway, and that's what you need to kill botulism at this altitude. Low acid food, you gotta be careful, because every low acid food has the potential to have botulism spores in it. So, just so you know. Anyways, yay! I'll be back when we're taking them out of the canner. So guys, it's the next day. This canning session got over a little later, and things came up, and I thought, you know, I wanted to try it for you. So I have my jars out. They actually, none of them lost headspace. The water, I'll bring you over and show you, the water is clear, but here's, they all sealed, and I'm getting ready to wash the jars, but I'm gonna open one of these. So you want that headspace at that bottom ring, and that's what I got. There's a little bit of fat, not much though, but beautiful. Look at that. I am so excited. So I'm gonna open a jar and add my cream and heat it up and show you what we've got. And this went for 75 minutes, and then I let it cool all the way down before I opened it and pulled the jars out. I let the lid sit on here, just kind of releasing some steam out of there for about 10 minutes. That also keeps them from evacuating. So I love it. I got 6. I'm hoping this is as good as it looks and as it was before I canned it. So we're gonna get the jars washed. I'm gonna open up one of these and make myself some soup. So I'm gonna bring you over here, and we'll choose which one we want. Okay, so here's a look at the water. Very clear, no oil or anything on the top, and that's, you would see the oil if any of it evacuated, but no evacuation. And after a 75-minute session, it loses about half of the water. So you want to make sure that you always put the appropriate amount of water in your canner. You never want to run it dry. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this jar here, and we're going to get you up on the tripod and yum. Whoa, doesn't that look good? We'll get you on the tripod and show you how I do it. Okay, so we've got our jar here, and this is actually one of the new 18-month lids. So maybe I'm going to open a different one. I'm going to open one with an older lid on it. Not that that makes a difference, but this is a beautiful jar of soup, so we'll do it right here so you can see. Well, maybe. Whoa, that was a good seal. Okay, good seal. Smells good. Oh, yum. Okay, put that down in my pan. That's got all the sausage, the bacon, and I'm gonna have lunch. This is gonna be fantastic. And the onions, the bits of onion, and oh my gosh. I used, I took the easy way out and I used Thrive onions in this, and they came out fantastic. So I wanna add a little bit of pepper, just because I love cracked black pepper. And pepper can get a little stronger in a canning process, so we're gonna get this heated up and add some cream. Got a little bit of heavy cream here, and that makes the best zuppa. Oh, yum. Hope you can see that. It smells delicious. I can't wait. Okay, next up, I'll put it in my bowl and I'll give it a taste test, and I'm gonna give you an honest opinion. So if I don't care for it, or I don't think I'm gonna ever can it again, then I'll let you know. All right, guys. Okay, so I've got my soup here, and I'm actually gonna add a little bit more pepper and right on top. Oh, anything with cream in it, I love to have a lot of pepper. My chicken and dumplings, everything. So it's, as you see, it's very brothy, and that's the way I make it. It's not thick at all. If you wanted to thicken it, I guess you could, but I have never had it that way. So I've got a little bit of sausage, I've got some potato and some kale right there. I cannot wait. It's hot though, so be patient, be patient. Gotta blow on it. Oh my gosh. Unreal. Oh my gosh. The sausage has a great texture. The potato is really buttery. It doesn't have a different flavor. It tastes just like I made it last night. I mean, honest and truly, the canning process left this absolutely fantastic. I love it. And I will be canning another batch, only this time I'll do a big batch. And I think the only thing I'll do different is maybe have a little bit more meat in there and potatoes and kale, just because it is, I mean, it's a soup, but maybe this jar didn't get as much in there, so I think I'll just add a little bit more, make my recipe a little bit heftier. But here we go. Oh my gosh, so good. Unreal. Oh my gosh, I hope that you guys try this. I hope that this inspires you to go ahead and try canning some Zuppa Tuscana, or your version of it. I have a video and I will link it for you so you can see how I make this, but if you'd like me to make a new video on it, go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section below, and I'll do it when I make my next batch. I'm probably gonna get at least double of this on the shelf, because I can see me taking this to work several times this winter. So now I've got 5 jars to go on the shelf. After I wash them, I will date them and label them and get them in the canning room, and then make plans for my next, because I've still got lots of potatoes and lots of kale out in the garden, and the kale held up really, really well in this. I was shocked. So yeah, it's a success, guys. I'm excited. I'm gonna go finish my bowl of soup, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to check all the links below. I've got some awesome links down there for you. And